Well, I guess today is the day. Today is going to be one of the most difficult downsizing projects that I have to do, if not the most difficult. Today's goal is to downsize my plushies. I do not plan to get rid of all of them. I get it. I am an adult child and I will admit to it. I've never denied that. But with our goals that we have, some of them need to go. So I guess this isn't going to get any easier by me just standing here pushing it off. So let's go ahead and dive into it and get it done and get it over with. As hard as it is to believe, this is actually only a small portion of the stuffed animals I owned when I was young. Many of the plushies that I currently own have been with me most of my life. Looking at them brings back a lot of memories from my youth. The thing about objects that hold memories that you have to remember is the memories are not in the objects. They are in your mind. You were the one that experienced the memory. The object may have been present, but they themselves do not store memories. Objects such as these are simply triggers for what was already there all along. There are so many memories here. I've got some things, like this weird little, I'm not even sure what it is, if it's a rabbit or if it's a dog. Like, this is talking memories before I even remember when I got it. Like, that's so nuts to me. I'm not really 100% sure what it's supposed to be or even where I got it from, but it is time for it to go, and I'm okay parting with it. There are some things I'm having a hard time with. I knew that was gonna happen. This, like I said, is probably gonna be the hardest thing I do. There's some things that I'm surprised I'm doing well at. I have actually gotten rid of some turtles and one thing that has a pug on it, so that's doing pretty good. But there are some things I can't part with, and one of them being this bear that my grandmother that passed away last year, she had given me this, I don't know, a long time ago. I was really young. It's dirty, it's old, but it's small and it has a lot of value to me because that's a grandmother I didn't get to spend the amount of time that I wish I could have spent the amount of time with her. So anyway, this isn't getting the rest of this done, so let's continue on. As our downsizing continues and we find more and more difficult stuff to purge, I always try to keep my goals in mind. I'm not just getting rid of everything to have a clutter-free home and win the ability to call myself a minimalist. In fact, I don't think I'll ever be able to call myself a true minimalist. And that's okay. It's not my goal. I just want to live the best life I possibly can. I want to find that balance of owning only the stuff I truly enjoy, but not having so much to tend to and take care of. I don't want to spend valuable time just to store and clean stuff. I want to focus on the things that matter the most. Friends, family, love, and adventure. Sometimes things are difficult because they just tell a story. This bear here, it's actually the first stuffed animal or toy or anything that I ever won out of one of them claw machines. It's cool and all, but I think a picture will do just fine. Then there are things like this. Some of you who watch YouTube regularly, especially gaming channels, probably recognize this, especially if you watch Markiplier. This is a Tiny Box Tim. I had to get one. I was pretty stuck on getting one at the time, which is really funny because I don't really watch much Markiplier anymore. In fact, I'd have to say it's probably been a few years since I've actually sat down and watched Markiplier. That's why I'm kind of up in the air about keeping my tiny box stem or not. It was cool when I got it, but I'm not sure it has a place in my home anymore. So I'll make my decision here in a little bit. That being said, I officially have the top part of the closet cleared out. It looks really empty right now. Like, getting rid of the stuff on the floor, getting rid of the stuff, a lot of the clothes, doesn't compare to having that top shelf cleared out because it just looks so barren right now. That being said, I've got a pile of things to go through that I don't know what I'm doing with yet. So let's get to that. Sometimes possessions can be hard to part with if they're sentimental. Some of the best methods I have found to part with such items is as follows. If you have more than one of something, can you pick one or two of your favorites of it and just keep those? Try to think if there's someone who would enjoy the object more than you. Could a picture replace the object? We tend to hold on to things because they remind us of the past or simply because we just like to look at them. Pictures can give you the same visual effect without all the physical clutter. Lastly, ask for help. If you're having a hard time parting with something, get a second opinion. Perhaps someone could say something that just flips that switch on in your brain that can make you make the right decision for your situation. Alright, so we're finally done. I only had a couple things I really couldn't make a decision on. Some things from my childhood, this little bear and this camel. I just really couldn't come to a conclusion on these two, so for now they get to stay. And I can make my decision later on if I want to fully get rid of them. I did keep a lot, I will admit to that. This has been a really hard process for me, so again, I can always come back and downsize more later. I just gotta work through it, you know? I did get rid of a lot of turtles and a lot of pugs and a few Beanie Babies, which is surprising for me because these are things that I'm all very attached to. There's a couple things that I am rehoming or doing something different with. For instance, there's this turtle my mom gave me to give to my dogs. It's a turtle, so I ended up being like, but it's a turtle, so I kept the turtle. But I think I'm going to give it to its rightful owners, which would be the dogs. I've got what this looks like a little mini pillow pet. It reminds me of a little girl I know, and I think I'm gonna rehome it to that little girl. Last but not least, I've got this really pretty peacock that, like, I should have never bought. It still has its tag on it. It's actually a very recent purchase, like the llama that you've seen in the first closet clean out video. I really do like it. I think it's beautiful, but it's big. It's very big. And I actually think I'm going to rehome it to my mom. She used to have a pet peacock before I was born. Unfortunately, it ended up in a very bad situation and passed on. So I guess at this point, I'm gonna box up my friends that are going. It's been a nice time that I've had with them, but it's time to move on. And as for my friends that I'm keeping, which majorly looks like a lot of turtles, I'm gonna find a spot back for them, back up on top of the shelf. And honestly, I think I'm gonna have enough room to actually put my blankets and bed sheets up there. I think I've done good enough to have that space. In fact, let's stick around for a second. Let's see if I can. So obviously I still have quite a bit, but there is enough space for me to put my blankets and bed sheets up there, but I'm gonna have to figure out a different way to fold them if I do that because the shelf is not wide enough. That being said, before I conclude this video, I just want to put out there, I am by no means an actual minimalist. I am somebody who finds the best means to live the best life that I possibly can. Sometimes that means sacrificing things I like. Sometimes that means keeping some extra things that normal people wouldn't keep. In this case, my plushies. Again, I may come back down and downsize them a little bit more. I will never totally get rid of my plushies. They are something I genuinely enjoy. So if you like this video, go ahead and like it. If you want to see more of our downsizing process and our work toward living smaller, like in the means of an RV, which I'm very curious if those are going to fit in the RV like I want them to. Bam has already been saying like we can put some in the building to kind of decorate the building, some of the really smiley, happy plushies, just to bring the mood up in the building when we're working. We'll see how that works. So yeah, if you want to see more of that journey, go ahead and subscribe. Aside from that, I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your 2 weeks, and I'll see you then. Alright, bye!
I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be